All right. I think we got a good number of answers there, Claudia. So you can end that there. Perfect. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. So before we go further, we got a special message today from Dr. Mona Nemer. She is the Chief Science Advisor of Canada. That's super impressive. I'm nowhere near that. I don't really have a science background, but I love talking about this stuff. So this is a super, super, super important scientist for our country. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to play the message from her.
Over the last year, scientists from around the world have come together to shed light on the unknowns of COVID-19. They developed tests to detect the infection and faster ways to make vaccines to prevent illness. They use mathematical models to predict disease spread and recommend public health measures. And they produce new drugs and devices to fight the disease. Science led our fight against the pandemic. La science est plus collaborative et accessible que jamais. As an educator, I have always encouraged my students to learn science by doing science. That's the great thing about the Let's Talk Science Challenge. You get hands-on experience, you get to work with a team, and this year you can bring as many friends as you like along for the ride. Il y en a pour tous les goûts, des quiz en sciences, des défis d'ingénierie et même des prix à gagner. Dans mon travail de conseillère scientifique en chef du Canada, j'écoute les experts et j'utilise la puissance de la science pour aider notre gouvernement à trouver des moyens de surmonter de nombreux défis, y compris la pandémie de COVID-19. Ma curiosité et ma passion pour la découverte ont été le point de départ de ma carrière scientifique, tout comme pour vous, je suppose. I'm excited to see all your brilliant ideas this year and look forward to hearing about your future discoveries. Solving tomorrow's challenges starts with students like you. Bonne chance. Good luck, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Nemer. All right. Oops. Sorry. Oh, right. There we go. So yeah, and we just mentioned the participation prizes. So the key way to do that is you're attending the live quiz, which is what you're doing right now, or you're watching the recording and you're listening for the secret password. I'm going to make it super obvious when we get to the secret password part, so don't worry about that. After the quiz, you're going to want to fill out the online participation form with the password. And if your answer is correct, you'll receive a badge and be eligible for weekly draws. Now, don't worry. I know like last week in a couple of quizzes we did, like the answer was called like of or related to cows. And some people are like, what if I write cow instead of cows? Or I didn't put in quotes or I didn't capitalize the word. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not that stringent. Like if the answer was of or related to cows and you wrote like hippopotamus, Jupiter, purple, yeah, okay, that's way off. Again with the purple. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And the link for the participation form is available in the Google Drive by Friday. And if you have any questions about this stuff, don't sweat it, because whoever signed you up for this, whoever the grown-up was, teacher, family member, friend, whatever, they have that information. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's all being taken care of. Okay. Oh, and I was going to mention, if so, as you may know from last week, we offer this quiz on 3 different days at 3 different times. If you do it all in the same language, there's no benefit. Mais si tu fais le quiz en français par chance, tu peux recevoir une autre chance à gagner. If you have no idea what I just said, it might be a bit tough. But if you do this quiz in French, which is slightly different, you actually get to double dip and get another chance at winning a prize. There we go. So you can try it out in French if you like. Rules for today, super, super, super simple. You're going to want to keep track of your score on the score sheet. Again, if you don't have it, don't worry, just use something else, piece of paper, whatever you want to write with. This week, this sort of applies. Last week was just sort of a practice session. Try to not open your books. Try not to like cheat in the study guide or go to Google or something like that. You can work in teams or individually, whatever is safe for you to do. Like obviously don't get all your friends together if you're in a place that you're not supposed to be doing that, but you can work online if you're talking to your friend using some sort of app or something like that to communicate. Or if you're doing this with your family, friends, whatever, who are already in your home and that's safe to do it up. And please don't spam the Q&A. So that just means like, don't just start writing nonsense or continually asking the same question over and over and over again. The example I think I used last week is like, if you really had to go to the bathroom and you had your hand up and everyone just started talking over you and the teacher didn't know you had a question because everyone's yelling, not super cool. So just Just take her easy, relax. It's all good, no stress. And today we're going to be going through 10 questions for a total of 12 points. I wonder if, like last week, there might be one question worth multiple points. The answer to that is yes, and I will explain it when we get to it. And yeah, it's just for fun. We're keeping track of score because we might want to be competitive, but it's not like if you get all 12 points, you're the best and you win. And if you get 0, oh, that's no good. No one's going to make fun of you, okay? It's seriously, no one should be making fun of you. You're trying your butts off. It's all good. And we don't do negative points. Think of these weeks, like I said, we're in week 2 of 10, as we're in training. And then in May is the big event where, yeah, that we're legit going to be counting the points and stuff like that for prizes. But now we're in training. We're stretching it out. We're making our brain muscles work really well. And if you don't remember from last week, that's cool. We're going to do 3 rounds, one with multiple choice, where we ask a question. There are some options. You got to pick the correct one for a point, true or false. There's going to be a statement. Is that correct? Is it incorrect? It's a 50-50 chance. Give it a try. And the last one, visuals, maybe a video, maybe an image, some stuff related to that, some questions related to that. And a little pro tip, honestly, if you don't know the answer, don't sweat it. Give it a try. Take a guess. Shot in the dark, because if you do nothing, guaranteed you're getting 0 because you did nothing. But if you give it a try and you get it wrong, okay, you get 0. If you give it a try and you guessed right, you're getting a point. Don't worry, don't despair. Be cool with it. No one's making fun of you. And there's 5 categories: STEM and context, general knowledge, multidisciplinary, career, and reading. And this week, yeah, there's going to be more reading questions because hopefully you read the stuff beforehand to help you through the quiz. If not, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. The Joker is not coming to make fun of you. He has bad jokes. I have bad jokes. Don't worry. It's going to be all good. And the topic this week is chemistry. And Emmanuel usually dresses up her little friend. Who is that, Emmanuel?
This is Lexi. She's Let's Talk Science mascot. So if you were with us last week, I told you that I wouldn't be here during the English quiz, and that's why you have the picture of Lexi. But since I'm here, you want to see the real one?
Yeah, better in a picture.
Hey, so this is Lexi. Today she is wearing our PPE equipment. So she has her glasses. She also, the girl on here, and like her lab coat.
You don't want to spill that stuff. You don't want to spill that. You got to be safe.
Yeah, and she also has all of her like little like
her beakers and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you can be here and the Lexi's here as well. As some of you may know, I make lots of bad jokes occasionally. Not like inappropriate jokes, but silly, dumb jokes from time to time. And we sometimes toss in some fun facts. There's actually a little bonus fun fact today. It's hard to do. We can't really sing, but today is Emmanuel's birthday, and she had no idea I was going to do this. And she may be slightly embarrassed, and I'm sorry, but it's a big day for her. So feel free to wish her a happy birthday. Lexi's excited. I mean, Lexi's face is so excited it's frozen. It's not even moving. I'm joking. But yes, happy birthday to you, to Emmanuel, and thank you for joining us on this special day. All right, so we're doing this for real. We're going to start answering some questions. We're going into the first round of multiple choice. All right, so let's see what our first question is. All right, so this is going to be a general knowledge question. It's going to be our video. So what's going to happen in a sec is I'm going to play this video for you from Catherine Costin from Dow, Canada. She's going to say the question. If by chance you don't hear it, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it, because the question is actually also going to be on the next slide, and that's where we're going to answer it. So I'm going to play the video. I'm going to mute myself again, and I'm going to start the video for you. So here we go, folks.
Hello, my name is Catherine Costin. I'm a site leader at Dow, located in Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. The question is, which of the following is not a state of matter? A, gas, B, liquid, C, IDAO, D, solid. Good luck with the rest of your questions.
All right, thank you, Catherine. So I'm going to go to the question here. So which of the following is not a state of matter? Is it gas, liquid, Idaho, or solid? What's going to happen in 1 sec, so don't worry, it's not happening just yet, is Claudia is going to put up the answer sheet. I'm going to click the timer, and you're going to have 25 seconds to answer that. And this question is worth, you can see in the bottom right corner there, 1 point. So Claudia, can you pop up that answer sheet? Perfect. I'm now going to start the timer. So which of the following is not a state of matter? Is it gas, liquid, Idaho, or solid? So remember, you're picking your answer and you're then clicking submit. One thing I'll mention too, and don't sweat it, the percentages when we look at the results are probably not going to make sense. And that's totally fine. Ignore the percentages. We can talk about how many people answered. All right, just a few more seconds left. Oh, all right, so Claudia, can you lock those in and then show us the results? Perfect. So what I mean, the percentages don't make sense. And it's totally cool if this is your situation. Don't worry about it. In some cases, a teacher, grown up, whatever, might have shared the link with multiple students. And it's like that person is voting multiple times. That's just the way it's logged in. So don't worry about it. If you did that, don't sweat it. It's totally fine. So it looks like the most popular answer, with 156 of you saying Idaho is not a state of matter, and a couple of people said gas. Everyone else seemed to ignore liquid and solid. Let's take a look at what the correct answer is. It is Idaho. Fun fact, Idaho is a state. It is a state that does matter. There are important people there, but it is a US state, not a state of matter. Norman, states of matter stuff. This is kind of hard for me to wrap my head around. What state of matter is water?
Water is a liquid.
Interesting. Can it be any of those other states?
Yeah, so actually it can be all three of those states, a gas, liquid, and solid.
What would it look like? What would solid water look like?
Well, solid water is actually ice, and that's why ice melts into water.
Okay, and you said it's a gas? Like, I don't put water in my car when I go to the gas station. How does water become a gas?
When you heat it up a lot, it turns into steam. So if anyone, makes tea, stuff like that, it becomes a gas.
Interesting. Okay, and yeah, this makes sense. When I was younger, I learned about the water cycle, and yeah, it is changing into different matter, different states of matter. Maybe it becomes snow, maybe it becomes hail, which is nasty stuff. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Norman. Thank you very much. See, this is why we have Norman. I don't know this stuff. Oh my goodness. If you did, you're so much smarter than me. All right, let's go to the next question.
Can I just say something?
What's up?
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday. You were like, I don't know if you know that, but today we are over like 166 participants. So we received a lot of happy birthdays. So I was not able to reply to all of you, but thank you guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope it's okay that I did that for you, Manuel. Life is kind of weird right now, and you might have had a birthday in the past year, and maybe you had people drive by yelling happy birthday. We can't really do parties and stuff, so it's kind of like a mini party.
I think this is the best birthday party ever, guys. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. That's good. That's great. We're doing a sprint. So what's going to happen in a sec is I'm going to click, and you're actually going to see 3 questions. Okay? I'm not going to do it yet because I just want to explain how it's going to work. You're going to see 3 questions. When it's time and I say Claudia's name, she's going to put up the answer sheet. What you have to do, though, is you have to pick 1, 2, 3 answers and then click submit. If you click one and then click submit right away, you're not going to be able to answer the other ones. This whole thing here that we're going to do is going to be worth 3 points, but it's not all or nothing. So what I mean by that is, let's say you get one of the answers wrong. It's not like, oh no, I get 0 points. I had to get perfect all 3. No. If you get 1 right, you get 1 point. If you got 2 right, 2 points. If you got 0, 0. If you get all 3, 3. And the timer is going to be longer on this one because you have more to do. So here goes. The first question is, and we'll pop up the answer sheet in a sec, just 1 sec. Which of the following is a diatomic gas? Is it helium, boron, fluorine, or argon? 2. In which of the following examples are the molecules most spread out? Is it in the atmosphere, the ocean, a leaf, or a rock? And 3, which of the following changes to a container of gas would increase its pressure? Is it decreasing the temperature, increasing the volume, decreasing the volume, or reducing the number of gas molecules? So here we go. Claudia's going to pop that up for you. All right. I'm now going to start the timer. We have 45 seconds instead of the usual 25. Here we go. But remember, you want to pick one answer, then the next, then click submit. Okay? All right, so answers are starting to come in. A few of us are starting to answer the questions. So which of the following is a diatomic gas? Helium, boron, fluorine, argon. And which of the following examples are the molecules most spread out? Atmosphere, ocean, leaf, or rock. And which of the following changes to a container of gas would increase its pressure? Decrease in temperature, increase volume. Oh, the timer's still going. Don't worry. I know it stopped ticking, but that's okay. It's still going. Decrease volume, reduce the number of gas molecules. So you have like 15-ish seconds left, getting a little bit less. All right. Well, a little over half the audience has answered. Get your answers in. Get them in. Almost done. Oh, okay. So we will lock in those answers now, and let's take a look at the results. And one thing I forgot to mention too, you're seeing some of the bars are orange. That doesn't necessarily mean that the answer is correct. If you were here last week, you'll remember there was a true and false question, and there was a really big orange bar and a smaller blue one. But in fact, everyone picked the, sorry, not everyone, most of the audience picked the incorrect answer. So for the first one, most of the audience is saying helium. For the second one, wow, that one's a bit of a blowout. For the second one, a lot of the audience is saying atmosphere. And then for the third one, which of the following changes to a container of gas will increase its pressure? Most of the audience, it's pretty close with decreased volume, but most of the audience is saying increased volume. So let's take a look at the answers. So for number one, for 1 point, you should have picked fluorine. For number two, for 1 point, atmosphere. And for number three, for 1 point, decrease volume. So it looks like there, in 2 instances, most of the audience actually didn't pick the correct answer. So I'm going to leave those up. So 1 for 1 point, you should have picked C. 2 for 1 point, you should have picked A. I don't know how I'm going to make an A with my hand. A for 1 point. And for 3 for 1 point, you would have picked C. And yes, we've seen there that all those questions are about gases. Sometimes gases are hilarious. Sometimes people like making fart jokes. We're not going to do that. We're a science people. Well, I guess farts are science. The science of farts. That's weird. But yes, remember, it's whatever points you got there. So it's not like if you got one wrong, you get 0. So 1 point each, right? So 1 is C, 2 is A, 3 is C. Give yourself 1 point for each one of those. That one's a little bit more complicated than the other ones. Can I just have some hands up to let me know that we're okay to move on to the next question? So make sure that we got a good amount of the audience okay with that, because I don't want to leave anyone behind or anything like that. Okay, we got almost half the audience. We can always come back to this later at the end. If you didn't hear all the answers, don't sweat it, but we are going to move forward. You can put your hands down if you like now. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, all right, let's take a look at what the next question is. We're going to do some reading. All right, so which of the following states of matter is highest in energy? Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas? Or is it plasma? So now we're back down to 25-second timer because it's just one question here and it's worth 1 point. All right, Claudia, can you pop up the answer sheet? All right, I'm going to start that timer for you folks. We're talking about states of matter, highest levels of energy. Which one is it? Is it a solid, a liquid, a gas, or plasma? All right, so the answers are coming in. Almost 85% of you folks have answered. We're crossing the 90% mark. We're getting close to 95. Almost everyone has answered. Almost everyone. We're about to run out of time. Oh. All right, so let's lock those in and let's take a look at the results. Okay, so big number of people picked plasma for the highest in energy. Looks like after that, quite a difference though, but after that is gas, then solid, and then a liquid. All right, let's take a look at what the answer is. And for 1 point, it is plasma. So I went and I looked this up yesterday too, because I just wanted to make sure before I said this that it was correct. So yes, if you have a plasma TV, I mean, some of that's a little bit older now, there is plasma in that. But for me, the most visible and common example of plasma I can think of, I loved this when I was a kid. I used to live sort of around Toronto when I was younger. And from time to time, my school would go to the Ontario Science Center. You might have something similar, Science World out in BC, or maybe Science North, depending where you are. They might have this thing. It's a big glass ball. There's like a stick in it and a little ball, and it looks like pink and purple lightning shooting out of it. So that is a plasma ball, plasma sphere, plasma dome. And when you put your fingers on it, it's like the lightning's attracted to it. So that's an example of plasma. I was really little, and sometimes I put my face on it and I'd get in trouble because you're really not supposed to put your face on it, but it was super cool because it looked like lightning was coming out of my face. Don't put your face on it. Don't. All right, perfect. Out of curiosity, I'm just going to ask Emmanuel, Claudia, Norman, are there any super pressing questions that everyone should know, or we're okay? We're okay to keep moving? Perfect. Okay, I will move to the next question. So now we're doing true or false. Remember, it's a 50-50 chance. It's like the flip of a coin. I'm going to have a statement for you. Is that statement correct, true, or is it incorrect, false? All right, let's take a look. right, the category is reading. So true or false. The gold foil experiment revealed that positive charges are concentrated in the center of an atom. Is that true or is that false? Claudia, can you pop up that answer sheet, please? Perfect. I'm going to start that timer. You got 25 seconds. Gold foil experiment revealed that positive charges are concentrated in the center of an atom. Correct or incorrect? True or false? What do you think? All right, about 70% of you folks have answered. Numbers going higher. Counting down, a little less than 10 seconds left. All right, so let's lock in those answers and take a look. All right, so quite a difference in the audience here. So most of you have said the answer is true, and about a third of you are saying that the answer is false compared to the other responding group. Let's take a look. So this is worth 1 point. So the answer is true. So if yes, the gold foil experiment revealed the positive charges are concentrated in the center of an atom. If you said true, please give yourself 1 point. Okay. Let's see what the next category is. Doing some of that reading again. Okay. Another true or false. Electrons are located outside of the nucleus in an atom. True or false? So Claudia's going to pop that up again for you to see. My sentence just disappeared there. Sorry. And I'm going to start the timer. I don't know why I said for you. Made me sound super old. All right.
Yeah, I was like, how old are you, John?
My brain just went completely off. All right, so true or false? Electrons are located outside of the nucleus. Is there some sort of big party going on in the nucleus? And they're like, no electrons allowed, man. They're not cool. Is that true? Is that false? Let's find out. Just a few more seconds left. Okay. All right, so let's lock those in and let's take a look at the results. Again, big difference between the true and false here. So 134 of you have said true and 26 of you have said false. Let's see for 1 point what the correct answer is. The answer is true. No, sorry, Norman. I was gonna say Nathan. My goodness, my brain has completely been done for today. Sorry about that. Norman, what is a nucleus? Is there a sort of quick way to explain what's going on in there?
So nucleuses are actually made up of protons and nucleons. Sorry, they're made of protons and neutrons. Sorry.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the electrons, they hang out outside. They can't get in that
outside.
party.
No, they can't. They're not allowed inside that party. Yeah.
They didn't bring like pizza or something. They're like, stay out, man. You didn't bring anything cool. You have your own outside party.
No, it's because they are so negative.
Oh, dude.
The party poopers. Yeah, they're negative.
Yeah, they'd come in and be like, this party stinks. And be like, dude, you keep those bad vibes outside.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Only
wouldn't want that.
vibes in here.
Exactly. That's what you want. You want the good stuff. Awesome. Don't ever write that on a quiz, folks. That is not the real reason. Seriously, if you have a science quiz and you're like, they're not allowed in the party, your teacher probably won't be impressed. We're just being silly. Oops. All right. Secret password alert. This is the important stuff. So do you know that who was the first person to receive 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different disciplines? It's Marie Curie. You can see the red writing. This is the password. This is what you want to keep in mind. Okay, so when you're doing the participation form later and it's like, what was the secret password? Marie Curie or Marie Curie. So she received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903 for her work on radioactivity and the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1911 for the discovery of radium and polonium. And I just realized this yesterday. So this is a totally fictitious character, Dr. Poison, but she meets up with Wonder Woman around World War I, which means that if she were real, she would have been alive at the same time as Marie Curie. Oh, but Marie Curie is real and this person is not. All right. Bonus little fact. It's a bonus fact for you. When I was little and I first heard about this lady, I always assumed she was French, especially with a name like Marie Curie. All right. And I always associated her work and stuff like that as happening in France. But I found out later, that's not where she was born. Not at all. No, she wasn't born in France. She has a very French sounding name, which has a very different name, her birth name before she got married. I'll give you a hint. You don't have to write it because it might like sort of spam things, but if you are correct, give yourself an amazing, I'm awesome. The name of her country is actually the beginning of it, the first 3 letters in one of those elements. I'll give you a hint. It's not radium. It's in polonium, What do you think? What's that? What? Germany? Not Germany. POL. It's another country in Europe, a little bit more east of France. It is Poland. Yeah, she's Polish. And as a result, she named that element in part from where she was born. So polonium comes from Poland, and that's because that's where she's from. Really, really neat. The Joker is terrible at this quiz, but he's also a villain, so don't worry about it. He's very negative. He's hanging out with those electrons. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, so this one is multidisciplinary. So true or false, paint is a homogeneous mixture. So Claudia's going to pop up that answer sheet there. I'm going to start the timer for you. You have 20 seconds, 25 seconds, sorry. Paint is a homogeneous mixture. Is that true or is that false? All right, the answers are coming in fast this time. We've crossed 60% of you answering. About to cross 70. 10-ish seconds left. Paint is a homogeneous mixture. We'll get that answer in. Boom. So let's lock those in and take a look. So 96 of you have said that is true. The paint is homogeneous in terms of a mixture. And 61 said false. And for 1 point, the correct answer is false. Oh no! So in this instance, most of the audience got it wrong. Norman, what kind of mixture is paint?
So paint is actually a colloid mixture, meaning that there's suspended particles. And that's why if you guys have ever painted your house or backyard or whatever, you guys have to mix that paint bucket first before you guys start painting.
Okay, that totally makes sense. And like when I was the age of maybe some of the folks participating, I used to paint like little models, like little scale, like planes and cars and stuff. And yeah, every time I was doing it, like if I hadn't used the paint in a while, I had to shake it up because it would separate, like be totally clear on top and then like dark colored, the pigment, right? I don't know why I put that in quotes. That is an actual word, the pigment. So I'd have to shake it up because like you said, it's not 100% mixed, right? Interesting.
I just want to point out, because in the chat we have someone that says heterogeneous. Actually, colloid and heterogeneous are two different things. So colloid particles that are in there, it's kind of a like in between liquid and solid. So like ketchup is a colloid, mayonnaise is also one, paint is one. Heterogeneous is really something that you can see like that they are clearly separate.
I was getting hungry until you mentioned paint because you had some good stuff going there.
Yeah.
Ketchup, mayonnaise, boom, paint. Don't put that on a burger. You're going to ruin it. Awesome. So if you said false, give element. The style of the question is true or false. So the model of an atom seen in the image below here is known as an electron cloud. Is that true or is that false? Claudia's going to pop up the answer sheet for you. I'm going to start that timer. We got 25 seconds. So look at that picture in front of you. The model of an atom, is that an electron cloud? Is that true or is that false? Yesterday I said it looked like an atomic donut, but I don't think that's its official name. But what do you think? Is that an electron cloud or not? Man, that'd be a super tiny donut. I don't know how many millions of them I would eat to like make one donut. All right, few seconds left. Get it in. Boom. All right, let's lock in those questions. Okay, so big point spread here. Big spread. So 140 of you have said that is true and 15 have said it is false. So for 1 point, the correct answer is true. So it's not a donut. Unfortunately, I haven't had dinner yet, guys. I'm super hungry, but I'll get to it. Don't worry. I'm having a good time doing this.
So it's the party, like the nucleus, and you can see outside.
That's right. It's those mean little electrons. I don't get to go in. Exactly. So 1 point if you gave yourself true. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. All right, so what type of orbital is this? And we are talking specifically about the green one there in the middle. So you can see there's a circle, there's the middle one there, looks like almost like two teardrops together, and then the fourth one. They look kind of like balloon animals to me. So what kind of orbital is the one in the middle? Is it S, P, D, or F? All right, so Claudia is gonna pop up that sheet for you to put your answer in, and I'm gonna start the timer. The orbital in the middle there, the one looks almost like two drops. Is it S, P, D, or F? Split of. Yeah, that's kind of weird. So which one is that? What do you think? So we're not talking about the circle on the left. We're not talking about the ones kind of pinwheely on the right. We're talking about the middle. S, P, D, or F. Okay, so let's lock in those answers and then we'll share the results and see where people are at. Okay, so it looks like the biggest answer, the most popular answer with the crowd is P. Looks like after that bit of a drop, we're going to S, followed by D, followed by F. And for 1 point, you get 1 point if you picked P. All right. Norman, what is an orbital? Because like straight up, these things look like balloon animals to me, other than the ball one. What is this?
Yeah, so orbitals are where you can actually find electrons. And so this balloon over here basically just means that the electron can be found anywhere in that balloon.
Interesting. So it's almost like a racetrack and it's showing where it can go around it. Interesting. Okay, so this is super tiny. There's no way this is like balloon animal shit. This is super, 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 super tiny stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Okay.
You remember the electron clouds?
Oh, yeah.
So the orbital are the clouds shape.
Oh, so they're outside the party and this is where they're pacing. They're like, we can't get in. They won't let us in. We're too mean. Then they're just walking around.
Like, they're there. Like,
yeah. All right. This party analogy is very odd. But yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. They're not letting them in. They're too mean. Okay. We're getting close. I believe this is the second last question. We're doing number 9. All right. So in a sec, I'm going to play this video for you. The question I want you to keep in mind is Patricia's going to talk to us here. And the question I have for you is, what is the main task of Patricia McLeod's job? I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to click and we're going to see the question again. And you're going to have some answer options. So remember that. What is the main thing she does at her job? So I'm going to mute myself here. Oops, I just muted myself. And now I'm going to play the video for you.
Hi, my name's Patricia McLeod, and I'm a process chemist at Gilead, Alberta. Gilead is a pharmaceutical company where we discover and make medications to treat or cure different illnesses and infections. When our scientists find a molecule that they think could be a good medicine, we need to test it in people to see if it works the way we expect. If the medicine works, then we can ask the health authorities for permission to sell it. To do these tests, we need to make lots of medicine to give to people. This is where I come in. My job is to figure out how to make large amounts of the molecules that go into our medicines. These molecules usually exist as powders that we call active ingredients. After we make these active ingredients, we send them to other scientists at Gilead who create the final pills that patients take. These molecules are big, complicated structures made up of many different atoms that fit together like the pieces of a puzzle. To make the final molecule, we use smaller molecules as the puzzle pieces, and we use chemistry to combine them together in a specific order. This is kind of like a step-by-step recipe to make sure that each piece is connected in the right location. When chemists make these molecules for the first time, they only make small amounts, a few grams, similar to a couple spoonfuls of sugar. They can also use unique chemistry techniques to put the molecule together, like extremely hot or cold temperatures or expensive additives to make a transformation go faster. However, in order to make enough medicine for lots of people to take, process chemists like myself need to figure out how to make larger amounts of the active ingredient. At first, we might need to make 1 to 5 kilograms, the size of a small bag of flour. But as we treat more and more people and eventually start selling the medicine, we might need to make hundreds of kilograms every year, an amount that could fill the back of a couple pickup trucks. To make this much, we have to do the chemistry in larger batches. Unfortunately, the techniques used to make small amounts are less efficient with these bigger batch sizes. Heating and cooling take way more time, kind of like how it takes longer for a cake to cook as compared to a muffin, and expensive additives can cause our costs to skyrocket. As a process chemist, I work with a team of other chemists to find different ways to make the molecules in large quantities, kind of like developing different recipes. When looking for the best recipe, we do experiments in the lab to find techniques that are safe, fast, inexpensive, and less wasteful. When we find the right recipe, we use that recipe to make large amounts of the active ingredients that eventually end up in our medicines. I really like my job because I get to help make medicines that can improve people's health.
All right, so thank you, Patricia. I'm just going to click here to do that one. Perfect. All right, and sorry, just going to hide that. So yeah, Patricia gave us a lot of information on her job, but the key thing I wanted you to pay attention to was the main task of her job. Did she say she purifies molecules? Does she create new molecules? Does she make large quantities of molecules? Or did she say she ships the medicine? So Claudia's going to pop up the answer sheet there, and I'm going to start the timer 25 seconds. So she gave us a lot of information dealing with how they develop medicines and stuff like that, but what specifically did she say she did? She purified those molecules, she creates new molecules, she makes large quantities of molecules, or she ships medicine. Well, a lot of you have already answered. Almost 90% of you have already gotten the answer in well before we were halfway through the timer. Okay, a few more seconds left if you haven't gotten it in, and there we go. So let's lock in those answers and take a look. So the bulk of you went with that Patricia makes large quantities of molecules. Oh my goodness, it's almost tied for the next one. There's only one answer difference between these, between purifies molecules and creates new molecules, and only a few of you picked ships the medicine. All right, so let's take a look for 1 point. She makes large quantities of molecules. That's really cool of how her job works. Like me, I actually take medicine every day, and I didn't realize that's how they do that sort of stuff, develop these things to help people out all over the world. Very, 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 very cool. All right. Before we move on, Emmanuel, Claudia, Norman, do we have any super big pressing questions, or we're still good to go? Perfect. Awesome. And this will be, I believe, the last question. Okay, so what chemical property does this symbol represent? So on your screen, you should see a diamond, a red diamond, and some stuff inside of it. Is that indicating flammability, corrosiveness, poisonness, or toxicity? So this is a warning label. So Claudia is going to pop up the last answer sheet for us. I'm going to start the timer. So inside that diamond, it looks like, I don't know, maybe we've got like a piece of metal or wood, something kind of solid, a hand, some beakers pouring stuff. Some pieces are missing from those things. We got some lines. What do you think? Flammable, flammability, corrosiveness, poisonness, toxicity. What do you think? I'll give you a brief hint. One of those is a made up word. All right. So let's lock in those answers and take a look. Okay, so most of you picked corrosiveness, then toxicity, and then very close between poisonous and flammability. Let's take a look at what the answer is for 1 point. The correct answer is corrosiveness. So poisonous is a made up word. Poisonous is real, and so it's poison, but poisonous, it was deliberately there to throw you off. So yeah, if you ever see or using some sort of material that has it on there, please make sure you're handling it safely and you're wearing the appropriate equipment, because that stuff will definitely hurt if you get that on you. So yeah, corrosive means it sort of eats away at stuff. Okay, so 1 point for corrosiveness. And that's it for this week, but don't go away just yet. So things to remember that's coming up. Remember to fill out that participation form. The secret password was Mary Curie. If you put down Charles, I'm flattered, but that is not the correct answer. Or if you write, it was Emmanuel's birthday, it doesn't work either. It's very ego boosting, but the answer for that you want to put in is Mary Curie. There's the design and build challenge as well, which we talked about last week. And again, all of this information that I'm referencing is in the email for the grown up that signed you up. So you have until February 28th to send us your video for the chemistry design and build. And the next one will be released this Friday. There was already a chat with a scientist this week. If you missed it, don't worry. We have a recording that will be available on Friday. And worst case scenario, if for some reason the grown-up who signed you up for this completely lost all of the stuff, just go to letstalkscience.ca. That's what it says on my shirt. Let's Talk Science. En français. Sorry, en français, parlonsscience.ca.
Est-ce que tu veux que je parle français?
Maybe. I don't know what's going on. It's all this food and mean party electrons. If you go to our main page, that information will be there to help you out. But again, the people who signed you up for this will be getting that information. And the topic next week is, hey, Norman, is that the thing that landed on Mars? What is that thing?
So that's actually called a bacteriophage. And on that little thing on the top, that's where the virus is. And what it does is basically kill bacteria.
So a virus is used to kill bacteria.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, when I hear virus, I think that's bad news. I don't want to get a virus. But are you saying there's viruses out there that are helpful?
Yeah. So antibiotics are basically bacteriophages that help kill bad bacteria inside our body and help us feel better.
And it's almost like this thing. It's like it's one job, it's program, it's one task is to do that. It's not going to go branch off and do other things. Interesting. So I wonder. That's cool, man. I wonder what the topic is. Well, that makes sense. The topic next week will be biology. So make sure you look at that part of the study guide. And a huge thank you to Catherine Costin from Dow Canada and Patricia McLeod from Gilead for the videos today. And the last thing, Claudia's going to pop something up. It's just a couple of quick questions for you